There we go. We're gonna get started. So I'm gonna get Kimber up. Come on, Kimber. Come on. Welcome everybody. We're a little bit late, but we're back. Third week again of hold conditioning. Now this time you actually saw me load her up. I literally just came downstairs. I've got all the bumpers here, so I'm going for her. My goal tonight is settle in right from the start. So nice little start to it. I'm going to let her get settled. I'm going to move her. I'm going to do this kind of similar to what I did last night, except again, if you remember, if you watched it last night, my goal with her is to get her really good, perfect. I'll go as far as saying, or close to it, from start to finish. And if I can get her to do that settled, her weakness is she gets a little bit too excited. I want her really under control right from the get-go, and then I'm going to move her around and get her to settle. And I'm really looking to get more precise with it. I'm looking to be a little more picky. So I want her, because my goal is to get her on the ground. And one of the questions, there was someone that asked a question last night, why do you do it on the table? Why don't you just go right to the ground? And I answered it, I think maybe I typed it last night, but because I don't think that question came while the video was going. But the reason I do it is because she's so excitable. I have complete control of her here. We went from being tethered up to being loose to being able to move her around a little bit, and then eventually I'm going to go to the floor with her. But I can't go to the floor until she's good on the table. I couldn't go good on the table until she was good on the tether. So it's all incremental, building off of it. So this is a nice settling in. I'm good with that. I'm going to move her. I'm going to get her to come back. I'm going to get her to come back to a finished position. That's the position I want her in to deliver to me. So much like last night with Ellie, before I had her deliver any, I made her sit remote. I called her to me and I had her come up and give me a nice little sit and finish in the right position. And then from there I put a bumper in her mouth and we started doing it. So before I had her deliver, I had her just come to the right position. So tonight I'm going to have her move around. She goes from nice and calm to moving. And I want a real nice calm. If she had a bumper right now, I'd be real happy, because it'd be a nice little delivery. Now, I don't want her overstimulated and getting too excited. So when I touch her, she has a tendency to do that. So I really have to work on figuring out her level of excitement. Too much stimulation gets her too excited, and then we lose everything. She loses her focus. Ellie, a lot of times I had to get her stimulated. I had to get her more excited. So it's a great example of two different styles of dogs. Come on. Now, and they're sisters. So the idea of you train every dog the same way is absolutely not true. I don't believe in that. As trainers, I have to adjust to each dog. The basics, the foundation, the idea, the principles are very similar, but the actual approach with each dog is a little different. So I'm satisfied with her settling in. I'm going to start out tonight with a simple bumper. It's the skinny bumper. We're going to start mixing it up with her and giving her other options as long as she does well. Now remember, my goal is get it good right from the start. I don't want to have to go 2 or 3 repetitions and kind of fight her before she settles in. I want her to get it good from the start, and if she gets it good from the start on the table, I'll think about moving her around and then having her settle. And if I can do that, then I can maybe think about putting her on the ground. But if I can't control her up here on the table, I certainly won't be able to control her well on the ground. And she is so easily excited and overflowing. So hold, hold, hold. Right off the bat, I want to get a good one. Hold, 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 hold. There. Hold. She's still bracing a little against me. Hold. There. You hear the sigh? That was it. Hold. I've talked about the sigh now a couple nights. Hold. When I get that, it's a feeling from them that they go, okay, I'll do it, Dad. Hold. So when I get the sigh on the first repetition, I'm pretty happy. Hold. 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 prefer to look at me. Hold. Thank you. Hold. Very good. Very good. She's got to know when she does it right. Good. Because I'll let her know if she does it wrong. Hold. Hold. Dead. Very good. That's good. Sit. Sit. Just sit. So I'm going for more focus, more control tonight. I'm going to be a little bit firmer if I need to, if she slips, because I need to teach her something. We talked about, someone made a comment last night about it when I talked about it, but they should make mistakes. Don't be upset when they make mistakes. Mistakes are opportunities for them to learn. But you got to correct it, and you got to correct it at the right time. Hold. Hold. See that little bubble up? Hold. Good. If you can hear her tail, it's going good. Hold. Hold right here. Not over there by Steph, right here. Hold. Hold. That's it. Good. Hold. Again, guys, if you guys got questions throughout this, ask them while we're going, and Steph will let me know and we can answer them. Hold. But the whole idea of this live, it doesn't make sense to do it if we're not interactive. So I want to make sure, I want to challenge you guys to become more involved with it and become, try to help me grow it is what I'm asking for. Share it with people that you think this would apply to. Hold. Hold. Don't turn away. Hold. There. Good. Hold. Hold. Very good. Did. That's it. Good. So that was 2 nice ones in a row. Now I'm going to start mixing it up. I'm going to put a little bit, I'm going to close out of this. I'm going to put a few tricks into it. Not tricks, but I'm going to test her to make sure. I'm going to try to bring this up live so I can see it. It helps me to see you guys interacting. So I'm going to try to bring it up on my computer.
Mecca says, "What's up?"
Mecca, you're in again. Man, you really
Wyatt says, "Good evening, Professor."
Oh,
hello, Reverend.
Good evening, Doc. I love, this is what I like, guys, because now I'm going to try to get it going here. I should be able to watch it. Because I love seeing the little thumbs, I love seeing the little interactions, I love seeing all that stuff, because what it does is it tells me that I take it as a sign of it making sense. So I'm going to go back to her. I don't know why it won't come up. There it did, I think. So those are things that I'm asking you guys to help me out with by doing that. I think there, now I got it going. So we're going to go for another hold. I love how she's taking it. Hold. And she starts to creep up and get hold. No. Hold. 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 It's a little distracting when Steph moves. She wants to watch over there. I want her focus right here. Hold. She's going to have to avoid other distractions in the field and deliver to me. So she's got to get through this. Hold. Hold. Now I'm going to go in for a pretend D command. I don't want to say the word. There. Nice little sigh. She goes, that's good. You're good. Give her a little praise for this because I like her state of mind right now. I like her focus.
Angie's reminding you to do a rep where you're just working with her and not talking.
That's a good reminder, Angie.
Thanks, Angie.
Angie won last night for most interaction. I think she said she dropped her phone and she hit the button and apparently all sorts of things went past. I hope none were the middle finger. But I will do that, Angie. What I'm going to do is, Angie recommended last night one that I don't talk to anybody just like I would if no one was here. Because I don't talk very often to the dogs. Hold. 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 Ooh, I love that. That was just perfect amount of pressure on the bumper. Hold. Hold. Don't squirm. Hold. 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 Very good. Hold. Hold. That was excellent. So I'm going to be very clear to her. I'm not trying to trick her. I'm going to be very firm with my hold. Hold. When she sees me go in to take it, no, no, no. I'm going to be real clear with my tone. She goes, don't drop it, don't drop it, don't drop it. Everything physically is telling her to drop it. I'm going in to take it from her. Just like I do. Dead. 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 Good. So I tested her enough times there on hold that she actually was hesitant to let it go. That's okay. It's way easier to get him to drop it than it is to get him to hold on to it. So I'm not going to fight that. I'm not going to worry about that. If they're too hard on chomping, you pinch their lip to it, they'll drop it. So now, I think that's 3 or 4 in a row. We haven't had an issue. I'm going to do what Angie asked. I'm going to do one without talking. It's normal. This is how I would do it if I didn't have you guys watching. So I'm going to give it to her. I'm just going to have me and her. Then I'm going to take it out. Then I'm going to take a step. Because this will be 4 in a row that are good. I'm ready to make a change. I'm going to do it. This time I'm going to do it. I'm going to make a change already. I'm going to go to the bigger bumper. See how hesitant she is to take that one? It's okay. It's okay. Hold. 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 Good. Good. Hold. 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 Good. Hold. 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 Very good. Hold. Hold. Very nice. Hold. Hold. Good. Dead. Dead. Dead.
That's a good girl.
So that, I said hold way more during that one than that's how I normally would do it. I want to reiterate this hold, 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 hold. It's like Pavlov ringing a bell. That was classic conditioning. So she had this in her mouth and she heard me saying hold, 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 hold. So I would have said hold a lot more and I would have said basically nothing else. If you also notice, every time she goes like this and turns her head away from me, I'm not allowing it anymore. Not tonight. She's getting too good at it. So I slid her head right over. I held her back. Did she just fart?
Yes, I
think
thought you were saying squeak.
I thought squeak. She squeaked for me.
Literally.
So that was rude. So I literally slid her head back over every time she turned away from me. That got some hearts. It's got to get hearts. Hold. Hold. So now I'm going to build off of that. I'm going to have her hold it and I'm going to actually move her. So everything I've fought her not to do, get up and move around and wiggle around and all that, I fought with her to get her to this point. So it's all about balance. She was loose, I tightened her up. Now she's tight, I'm going to loosen her up. Because when I make a retrieve with her, she's got to be loose. She's got to literally go get it and bring it back to me. And I want her to come to that hold position and deliver. So this is bridging the gap to get there. It's very, very little changes, but it's subtle. It's going to put something in her mouth, and now I'm going to ask her to move with it in her mouth. So I'm going to get her to move, and I'm just going to have her take 2 steps. No different than I did without the bumper when we started this lesson. I had her move, and then I had her sit. I had her move, then I had her sit. Then I had her move, then I had her sit. Then I tightened her up, and I did hold. Got beautiful hold out of it. Now I'm going to take those 2 things and tie them together. So now I'm going to move her with it in her mouth, and I'm going to have her come to a nice hold. move her, have it come to a nice hold. So my goal now is get her tight, loosen her up, tighten her back up. And so these are taking all these little parts and pieces and starting to put them together, and now we're building on this building. We got a good foundation, we're gonna put another layer on, put another layer on, put another layer on. So she took it from me, hold. First I start up, you don't tell me you knew what you wanted to do. Hold. She's tight, good hold. So now she's proven otherwise. We gotta go right back to it. Hold. No different than before. Hold. Don't turn the head. Hold. I'm gonna get it good before we move. Hold. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, come on. Now I'm gonna bring her right back. Come here. And sit. Sit. Hold. 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 See how this has amped her up. Sit. Hold. So get her back. Hold. I'm waiting for a sigh. Hold. There it was. Did you hear that? I can just tell, I can feel her and tell when she gets, and then all of a sudden she goes, I know what I gotta do. And this is it. Hold. Very nice. Dead. And it's a nice delivery, okay? So I'm gonna do it. Sit.
Wyatt has a question.
Wyatt, what's your question?
Are your training sessions longer when you go live? I had mentioned that mine are pretty short, avoiding frustration for Hutch and myself, and sometimes it's hard to find the time. I usually look for improvements from the last session and call it a win. Is that the right approach, even if they don't take a lot of time? Great trainers know no time, I heard someone once.
Oh, you read an article once, didn't you? So, lot there. Are they longer live? Yes, because I talk in between. I wouldn't just pump them out, but I'd take less of a break in between. I actually kind of think this is helping with it, because I think it's stretching out my dog's focus. It's forcing them to have to be a little more patient. No. So I don't mind that. Now, I think I've been averaging about 40 minutes to do this live every night, and I do 2 dogs. And there's some in-between time where we switch dogs and stuff. So the reality is, I don't think I'm probably actually doing stuff with them more than probably 10 to 15 minutes, I would guess, of actual work. Now, this is still work. It's steadiness. It's extending focus. So I don't want dogs that expect, I think my fear with really, really short lessons is that when you get into it, the dog always expects action. You're going to do something, you're going to get through it, and then we're done. And so what I don't, the reality is with that, it doesn't transition to the field well. So it's okay to have a short lesson to get focus. I think Hutch has enough focus to go a little bit longer than that. It'll be a test of patience on you, absolutely. But sometimes maybe your lessons don't mean, if you're working on hold conditioning with Hutch, your lesson might go a little, I might challenge you, go a little longer. So if you're going 10 minutes, go 12 or 13 minutes. That doesn't mean you do any more repetitions. It might mean you have more downtime in between repetitions. Just extend it. Because when I go in the field, if you go out and work your dog, now these are gun dogs, so let's just say bird hunting, dove hunting. I'm going to dove hunt with them. So if I go out and I'm getting them ready for dove season, I'm going to want them steady to shot. I want to want them being able to do a little marking and taking a line. So real simple, basic stuff. So if I go and I set up, and I get them in a little makeshift blind, and they sit by me, and I have a thrower, and somebody throws some feathered bumpers, dove bumpers. Someone throws a feathered bumper, I shoot, I send the dog, they retrieve, they bring it back. We do that 3 or 4 times, and it takes a total of maybe 15 minutes. We might have made 3 or 4 retrieves in 15 minutes and got a nice little lesson in. And then when we're done, we go put them back up. Well, when I go to the dove blind, I might sit for 45 minutes before I see a dove. I might sit for 20 minutes before. I might start shooting right away. I don't know how that's going to go. So the transition from the training to the field should be as close to it as possible. Now, I'm not going to do a lesson for a couple hours, but I might dove hunt for a couple hours. So what I want to do is try to start extending some of those training lessons in order to get it more realistic to the hunt. And I also think you got to push your dog's limits a little bit. Don't let them don't let them get to where they set your lessons to be real short and you just kind of go along with it. Start to push them a little bit. Don't push them to the point that they break. So I don't know if that helps answer the question. So one more here with her. Go ahead, take it. Go ahead, take it. That's it. Hold. Hold. Tighten up. Hold. Hold. That's it. Hold. Nope. No. Get her where I want her. Just like we started out. Hold. There's what I want. Hold. Hold. And when I get her where I want her, hold. I'm going to move her. Okay. All right. Come on back. Sit. Sit. Hold. 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 That's very good. There's the sigh. That's very good. Hold. Can you guys hear that sigh? Someone answer if they hear that when she goes. Hold. I think that's a real important part of reading. When I get a read on a dog. Hold. Dead. Very nice. Let's do it one more time. Get her in position. Come on now. You know. Sit. Sit.
Yes, they can hear it.
So that's key. So I don't know if you could pick that up. Who said they could hear it?
Mecca.
Mecca, well done. You got ears though, man.
They can hear and see it.
You can see it? Very good. That's the good camera work that I got tonight. Hold. 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 Chin up. Hold. Thank you. Hold. Come on. Boy, just like flipping a switch. Now get her back. Come on. Come on. 2 or 3 turns. Come on. Come on. Very nice. Very nice. So she's loose. Hold. 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 See. Good. Good. Oh, I had to help her just at the end. I loved how she came to a sit. I had to put a little pressure to it, a little tone and a little snap, but I got it. And as soon as I got it, I praised her for it. Hold. Here's what I want. Hold. So I'm trying to take the dog that has a little more high go energy and slow it down. It's contrasting her style. So I'm going to slow down everything she does because she would prefer to speed it up. And if I have a dog that would like to be real slow and methodical and molasses, then I speed them up. So counter them. And that is another example of balance. Hold. Balance their style. Hold.
Is this to simulate her returning with a retrieve?
Dead.
Excited, transitioning into
Dead.
steady.
Who was that? Asked.
Wyatt.
Wyatt? Yes. Totally, Wyatt. So the idea is to get her on this table where it's 100% controlled. To get that under control to this, which we've worked on so hard to get her to settle. Hold. Sit. That's what I want. That's the finish. That's the finish I want. Hold. Now it's off center, and I'm not going to adjust it yet because sometimes she's going to pick it up and it's not going to be centered. So she's got to learn that if she doesn't pick it up centered, she has to hold it unbalanced. Hold. I'm not going to allow her to set it down and readjust and set it down and readjust. You pick it up off center, you carry it off center. It's going to help her to start picking it up centered. So now I'll help her. She held it nice. Good. This is much more comfortable for her. Good. Hold. So now I got what I want. I got the finished product right now. So now add an element to it. Get her on the move and then get her back to it. Because it's just like you said, Wyatt. It's going to simulate the idea of her bringing it back to me and having to settle in. Come on.
Very good. Come on. Come on. That's it.
That's it. So here she comes off her little retreat. Hold. Sit. Kimber, sit. Hold. Hold. Sit. 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 I want it way quicker than that. We won't go to the ground until she can come up and deliver nice. Good. Come on. Sit. 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 Because with her, I gotta have control. Because if I put her down on the ground right now, she's gonna get so excited, she's gonna probably get moving, and I can't catch her then. She's too fit. She's too quick for me. Good. Did. 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 Good. So that's about it. I'm going to do one more simple hold and finish it strong with a nice steady one. Hold. Do. Hold. Hold. Do. Hold. Very good. Hold. Hold. There's the position I want. Good. Did. Did. Very good. So that's it for her. I thought we saw some glimmers of hope of maybe being able to move on to the ground, but we're not there yet. So tomorrow we'll do the same thing. We'll get there. I'm not going to be in a rush. I'm not going to go, we're pretty close, let's put her on the ground and try it, because then we'll have issues, and I'll be real unhappy with it. And then we'll so just be patient. I got to be patient. So I brought some more stuff. We're going to go up with Kimber.
Woo.
Let's see tonight. I'm going to grab the computer. We're going to go up. We're going to get Ellie out. We're going to see what kind of steps.
Here, let me take the computer.
I'll have same thing, under control, on the way up, and if I have to, I'll slip a lead on her. Might do it anyway. No! There we go. Kimber here. Kimber, come on. Come on. So, lessons are over, but the obedience never ends. So, I want a nice heel up the stairs with me. Okay, so I'm gonna switch these dogs out. Here's Ellie. And Ellie's gonna start right where we left off last night.
I had two questions. Angie wants to know if you train with the size of a bumper of what the game is going to be in the field.
If I do what?
The size of the bumper is relative to what game will be in the field. So
Yeah, eventually I do, Angie. So question of do I train or use a bumper comparable to what we're going to do in the field? Absolutely. But I certainly don't start out with, if you're planning on, I know you do a lot of goose hunting. I wouldn't, if I was going to train a dog to be a goose dog, I wouldn't start out with a goose. I'd start out with the balled up sock and then the puppy bumper and then build my way up to it. So yes and no. Eventually yes, to start out with no. It's just the idea of getting them to pick stuff up and deliver it. And I don't want to make it any harder than it needs to be when they're little. So what was the other question?
my dog loves to retrieve and he will hold great on the table, but he doesn't seem to enjoy the hold training at all. No tail wag, hangs his head. I'm not sure if I'm being too tough on him or if he's just used to doing the retrieves. Should I work to get him more excited?
Who asked that?
Brian Chapman.
Brian, good question. I'm going to blame you for this one. 99% of the time, when something's not going the way you want it to be, it's usually not the dog. It's usually me. It's usually the trainer. So the answer to that, I think, is yeah. It's probably not a lot of fun. It's not very exciting. It's not in comparison to what it once was. Retrieving. This is boring. This is an object that isn't that great. So the idea is to not make this fun. It's not a fun thing. It's not a game. It's the idea is to start to understand the concept of hold. So it might not be a lot of fun just doing it the way you're doing it right now. So back to how it falls back on you. Yeah, you got to get them excited. I bet you can get their tail to wag if you get your voice real high. Oh, you're such a good girl. That's a good boy. And all of a sudden the little tails go like this. Watch back in some of our old videos. Ellie, who's laying over there right now, being really patient. This is part of her lesson. She's being really patient, waiting for me. She finally got bored and laid down. So she was not having much fun on the table. It was Brian. Is that who asked that?
Yeah.
Brian, I ask you if you watched all of them so far, because if you haven't, I urge you to go back, because you'll see Ellie tonight will look pretty happy and she'll look like she's having a lot of fun. And it's not because she's retrieving, it's because she feels way more comfortable on the ground. When I had her up on a table, she was very uncomfortable for a reason, so that I could get her focus. And so when I went through the process with her, she would clam up on me. So I had to get her comfortable enough to at least be comfy enough to have a state of mind where she can learn something. And so I think their state of mind is real important. If a dog is in fear, they don't learn much. If they are hesitant or timid because of feeling uncomfortable with your situation you're putting them in, they're not going to learn much. They have to be confident in order to learn and retain whatever it is you're trying to teach them. So I lift them up on the table to take away a little bit of that boldness and confidence, and with her, it's almost too much. I might have gotten away with Ellie off the table a little sooner than what we did. I always like to start them up on something, but I probably could have and would have gotten good results by putting her on the ground a little sooner. She's a lot happier tonight than she was a week and a half ago on the table, but that wasn't an excuse or reason to take her off the table. I had to figure out, how do I get her comfortable? How do I get her happy? How do I get her at least enough to learn what I wanted her to learn on the table? And with her, it was tone of voice. It was a lot of praise. You'll watch in some of those videos, I was just rubbing all over on her. Oh, you're a good girl. That's a good girl. I'm high-pitched, squeaky voice, and I get about this much out of the dog's tail. That told me that's enough, that she's changing, she's feeling comfortable, and she's starting to learn by doing that. Now, tonight, I'm going to have to go on the table. But if you swing around, Ellie, here. Come on. That's a good girl. She's still a little timid. You can see her. She just prances to me. So there's the finish I'm looking for. Why? This goes back to your question about Kimber on the table. Why am I moving her around after? Because I'm looking for that finish. And that finish on the table, was her moving around and coming into position. Ellie, here, come on. Here, come on. This is just a bigger version of what I was doing on the table. Start out with this bumper. Now I pick up a bumper and read my dog's body language. A lot happier. Hold. You're going to hear the exact same stuff I said on the table. Hold. So I'm very consistent with that. That's what she's learned. Ellie, here. Good girl. Come on. Hold. There. Hold. Very good. Hold. First retrieve, I'm testing. Hold. Very nice little girl. Did. Good. That was good. I'm ready to switch.
Okay, Lacey asked before, I forgot. Thank you, Wyatt. She currently uses drop. Is there a significance for dead, or should she stick with what her dog knows?
Absolutely. Stick with what your dog knows. I don't care if you say tuna. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want to say.
Tuna.
Tuna. Tuna.
Really?
That was a cross between, I don't know what that was. Turnips or, I don't care what you say, as long as you say it consistently. So if you're using drop, use drop. If you're using whatever you want, I don't care. Just use it consistently. So stick with drop. Make sure whatever you pick.
Wyatt says king salmon.
King salmon's fine. A little too many syllables. But whatever you're saying, pick the right word so that it's got a different tone. Hold, hold, hold. Dead. Totally different sound. So hold, 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 and dead. Dead is sharp, crisp, starts with that da, da, da. Hold. I make hold real long and hold. So they're totally, it's a lot of tone is why. Now, feathered bumper. Hold. Hold. I want the same delivery out of feathered bumpers as I did that canvas bumper. Ellie here. Good girl. Very good. Hold. 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 Very nice. Hold.
You want to show the bumper? I don't think you showed it was feathered.
Feathered bumper. So it's just a little canvas. It's a fire hose bumper. It's made out, I think there's cork in there. It's a fire hose material. I get them from Wild Rose. They're made out of this fire hose material, and then I just tape some wings to it. I'll take electrical tape, and these are dove wings. So we were working, this is what I was using a couple weeks ago, getting these dogs ready to do some dove hunting. So I'm going to put some dove wings on. Doves are what we're hunting, so I wanted to put some of that scent on it and work them into cover with it. But I also, and this was before we were doing hold, so we were making a lot of retrieves then. But I also like it, don't use doves themselves because the feathers come out so easy. With these young ones, I don't want to use doves. I'll use a teal, about the same size, kind of a small little bird. The feathers seem to hold a lot better. So, but for the wings on the bumper, for scent-wise, we're working on doves, so I'm going to pitch these into brush and timber. So, okay, she did a nice job with that. Here's a new one. This one's got a little movement to it. So she's got to do the same thing. Come on.
And it's bigger, way bigger.
Way bigger, and a little bit of movement. Now, she hasn't done this hold with this yet. Let's see. So I'm going to help her put it in her mouth the right way. Hold. 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 Ellie here. Good girl. That's it. Hold. Just because we change objects, I want the same result, a delivery in front of me. I don't like them going around me. She's kind of half going around me. Hold. Hold. Heel. Now I'm going to work a little bit of heeling. We did this last night. Heel. So now I'm working. Now she's going to have to heel. So she's got to think. She's multitasking. She's got a lot on her mind. There's things swinging around with this bumper. We're working on heel, and she has to hold. 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 But she's navigating through all these other things, and she's still holding. So that's telling me that hold means something to her. Good girl. And she's almost smiling right now. You can almost see it. She's pretty happy. Very good. Come on. Come on. See. There's the delivery I like right in front. Hold. Hold. Dead. Very good. Very good. So that was real nice. So we added a bunch of stuff to it. The one thing I wanted to do tonight, I'm not going to do it with this in her mouth. I'm going to do it with this one. It's a real easy one for her to hold. This is another reason why we do hold conditioning. See, it helps us with the dropping, helps us with the delivery to hand, it helps us with them running off. It's ingraining a bunch of stuff for her to come here and hold onto it and See that physical thing, just that alone, she triggered off of it. Good. Now, the other thing that helps is with switching. Switching is a bad habit for dogs. Throw one bumper, they go pick it up, they bring it back, you throw a second, or there's some type of a distraction bird and they drop it and switch. Don't want it. Because if I'm in the field and I'm working and birds get knocked down and they go pick one up, they're coming back with it and more birds work and I shoot and they drop one and they switch on me. Well, what if this one's a cripple? They'll drop this one to go to the fresh one and all of a sudden the cripple's gone. So when I send a dog on a retrieve, I want him to pick it up and bring it back to me. And then I'll get him on another one. So I don't want switching. So this helps. This is where I'm going to introduce switching to her. And if they're conditioned to hold, they won't switch because they can't get it out of their mouth until I give them the command. Ellie here. Good girl. Good girl. Good. Hold. Hold. Right here. Focus, guy. Easy. Be right here. Very good. Hold. Hold. Did. Very nice. Now this turns into a denial. So I can pick it up. So what I want to do is, if she wasn't conditioned to hold to the degree she is right now, it's likely when I throw the bumper, she drops this one to go to that one. Can't have it. We're going to do that one again. That one I waited for her to come. I waited for her to come right to position for delivery, and then I pitched the bumper. This one, I'm going to have her do it probably the same again, and then the next one I'll build on it. I'll do a little bit more, incremental. Ellie here. Good girl. Come on, come on, come on. Hold. Hold. Very nice. Very nice. Hold. Good. This time I'm going to make her hold it the whole time, then I go get the denial. Hold. Very good. Hold. Right here. Come on. Hold. There's a little mini delivery. Very good. Hold. Did. Very good. Okay, so that added on to it. So nothing wavers as far as our steadiness. Nothing changes during this drill. Very good. So we got a little bit of a, this one I'm going to do one more, and then I think we're going to be done with it. Come on. And tomorrow, I might let her pick up a bumper. Hold. Hold. This one I'm going to have her halfway to me when I pitch the distraction. And I don't want her to go to this diversion. I don't want her to switch. So when I throw it, I'll be really sharp with my timing. And remember how I used to go up to her and go, hold, hold. My timing was perfect to let her know, hold, do not spit this out. So my voice was there when my physical action was going to get it like she thought it was going to come. Before I went like this and she started coming, it's because she anticipated my physical gestures as they're here. So when I would do that, I'd make sure I was hold. So she understood hold on. This time I'm going to go hold. As soon as I throw it, I'm going to be there with my voice for her to understand hold, 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 hold. As tempting as this is, don't chase it. Don't drop that. Ellie here. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Hold. 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 I don't mind her stopping and watching it, taking a look at it. I actually kind of like that when a dog's on a retrieve and all of a sudden there's a bird. They stop, they mark it down, they turn, and they come right back to me because I think that's a memory thing for them. I think they're marking that spot. Then I can turn around and I can send them on it if I want. Hold. Very nice. Did. So we made some nice progress tonight with Ellie. I think that's going to be it for her. I'm going to put her in place right here. Any other questions that came up?
David Peterson would like to know, why don't you use the word fetch when you put the bumper in their mouth? I always thought that would help them pick up the bumper.
Because the reason I don't do it is because it's not applicable for me in the field. I'm not there at 100 yards when they go to pick up a bird and go fetch. They don't hear me say that. They don't, that part of it isn't something that I'm training. I'm not training a dog to pick stuff up. Now, if I could, the picking stuff up came from, these dogs are a year old right now. The picking stuff up came from when they were about 8 or 9 weeks old, when I first started making little retrieves with them. They got in a habit of predator prey. I just brought it out of their natural, they retrieve naturally. So I brought it out of them. And they understood that certain objects mean retrieve. Certain objects mean retrieve because I made little puppy retrieves with them. So I don't teach any dogs to fetch. I don't teach any dogs to retrieve. I think they have that inherently. I bring it out of them, and then I try to get them to polish it up a little bit, make it a little bit prettier, deliver it nicer, make it so that they don't get distracted, make it so that they don't switch, make it so that they don't run off. That's the idea of me doing hold conditioning with them. So I'm not teaching a dog a command that I say, fetch means go pick something up, because it doesn't really apply to me in the field. Now, hunt command is different. I do teach them a hunt command. Hunt command, I give them a hunt command of find it. So find it, when I say find it, a dog's nose should start going. There's something here, I gotta use my nose to get it. So I use find it to pick up birds. I use find it to pick up antlers. I use find it when I put a dog on a hit spot for tracking dog. I'll tell them find it, and all of a sudden the nose goes, and they start hunting a spot. And the way I start that out, so I don't teach dogs to smell, no different than I don't teach dogs to retrieve. But what I have done with these little puppies with the retrieves and brought it out naturally, and taught them to understand there's certain things they're going to bring back to me and get praised for. When I bring out the natural hunt out of them, I take food. I'll take actual food when they're little dogs, and I'll mow a circle in the grass. I'll leave it just a little bit longer. I'll sprinkle some grass in it. I'll let the little puppy get downwind, and I just let the puppy do what puppies do. They smell the food with their nose, they work into it, and their tail goes like this, and they start eating the food. And as soon as they do that, I stand in the background and I go, find it, find it, find it, find it. Look at her right now. Find it, find it, find it, find it. Instinctively, her ears perk up. Her nose is going like this right now. Now, I can't say that too often in front of her without her finding something, because she'll start calling BS on me. But she right now is looking at me going, what do you want? Where do you want it? What should I go get? Because she naturally has heard me say that so many times, where I say it in that exact same tone, and they are just programmed now. All of a sudden their noses start working, because they'll go back, flash back in their mind to when they were little puppies, and I would say it that way, and they'd use their nose and they got food, they got treats, they got the best thing in the world, and then I was in the background telling them how good they were. I went from that to using feathered bumpers in a little bit of cover. I'd pitch it in there and I'd say, find it, find it, find it, and all of a sudden their noses went just like they did when they were puppies. Instead of the little bit of food, they found the feathered bumper, or they found a scented tennis ball, or they found antler scent on a tennis ball that I laid a trail on, or they found a little of our blood trail wax that I put on a canvas bumper. So those are ways that I can key dogs in on specific things, but fetch to me is not it's not something I'm going to use in the field. Like, there's nowhere for me to apply it. Good question.
Angie wants to know, does it bother you that she does a side delivery most of the time?
Yes and no. I think I prefer front. I think a lot of people like the side. Side looks cooler. You know, ESPN, they circle around and they're ready to mark. That's trial stuff. Looks cool. Not practical. I don't like it that way. I like them coming to the front. The reason I like them coming to the front, and I got this from Mike at Wild Rose, was wet dogs that come up. Dogs don't shake. Typically, they do not shake with something in their mouth. I think it kills them. But they bring it up and they just resist that temptation to shake. Occasionally, I'll see a dog shake and hold. But if they're shaking and holding, they're probably putting too much pressure on it, because that takes a lot to hold on to it. So usually, these soft-mouthed dogs will come up and deliver, and they'll just let the water run off of them. And I think it goes against everything they do naturally. But when they hold and they know they need to hold, they will let that natural wanting to shake, they'll wait. So when they come up to us and they're soaking wet and they deliver in front of me, and I tell them hold, 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 just like they have been, and I say dead, instantly they shake. Well, if they're standing next to me, cool like ESPN and I say dead and take the bird and they shake, I get wet. I don't want that. I'd rather have them in front of me. I'd rather have my buddy standing next to them when I take it out and say, let them shake all they want. So is it bothering me with her right now? No. Will I try to maybe make it a little more precise? I think it'll just become more precise as we keep going. If I have to put a little bit of correction to it and take a half step to get her there, I will, but it's not bugging me that bad. It's certainly not bugging me right now. I'm real happy with where she's at. So I'm precise, but I'm only precise with the stuff that I think really matters in order to take the next step. And whether she's at an angle of 40 degrees or if she's squared up with me, 90, it doesn't really matter. So I'm not going to spend time fixing stuff that doesn't need to get fixed in order for me to keep going. I got enough stuff I need to fix. So, good question. Anybody else? Are there any other questions?
Yeah.
Good work tonight, guys. I think I'm real happy with the dogs. I'm real happy with the progress of this week. I think this week being the third week, and it's only Thursday, I would say we made more progress with the dogs this week, the third week, than we have with them in the first 2 weeks. So that's great. I'm going to ride that momentum. Tomorrow I might make a retrieve with her. Oh, it's been 3 weeks. She might make a retrieve.